Hi, I've taken Tyranids to a tournament and this is one of my roundup videos. If you watched my previous content, you'll know that I've taken my list built around a Harridan and a Nidzilla list. It was a one-day RTT hosted by the Outpost in Sheffield, great venue, well organised, friendly staff, and a great mix of friendly players taking part. It's always a pleasure when you go to an event in a new place where you know no one and yet you feel welcome and have fun. Now let's dive into some quick game overviews, and at the end I'm going to pull out some of the key takeaways for Tyranid lists. Game 1 was against Dark Angels. I went second but came away with a good win, 97-52. To be honest, I was worried about Dark Angels. They are my nemesis with Transhuman Terminators. This list had a lot of Ravenwing but still had 2 blocks of Transhuman Terminators. Going second worked in my favour as while he had lots of multi-melters, it meant he came forward, so that on my turn I got to get some charges off. Particularly happy when my Diamacaron jumped over a screen to charge 6 bikes and then killed them all in one hit. Although I had a nice charge, I went behind massively in points in the first 2 turns, but as the game went on and I killed more and my uninjured Harridan flew around causing trouble, he didn't have the units to stop me racking up the points. My favourite moment was when my Screamer Killer got charged by a squad of Terminators, survived, and then in the hitback killed the whole squad. Also me spending 10 minutes lining up a Smite that ended up with a double 1 Perils. Great opponent and great start to the day. Game 2 against Genestealer Cults was a different matter. I lost against the overall event winner and lost big, 96-24. He was the best player at the event, so a great learning experience for me, but he also brought a top metalist to GSC and knew how to play it well. I actually had turn 1 but it didn't help. I failed the first turn charge with the Diamacaron, one of many charges I'd failed in the game. It's a different army to play against, loads of movement, massive pre-game moves, deep strike from turn 1, obsec troops daisy chaining from cover for miles, movement blocking. They also had amazing shooting with rerolls, +1 to wound, making them punch well above the weight. Mini transhuman on everything, so I only wounded on 3. And the biggest challenge about playing into big squads is that I just didn't have enough attacks to wipe them in one go, and then they would just respawn in his turn. So throughout the whole game, I didn't kill one squad, and it's just because of that respawning. Let me say that again, I didn't kill one squad. A Harridan couldn't take down a squad of neophytes in 2 turns. My rolling was terrible, which can happen, but I don't think that I could have got anywhere close to competing with my list. Still a fun game, learning experience, and I can see why GSC are top of the factions at the moment. Game 3 against Ultramarines saw lots of shooting with 4 Dreadnoughts and 2 squads of deep striking Eradicators. It was a lengthways deployment, and going first meant I swarmed the board and took table control quickly, especially as he was a little bit blocked in by his own castle. He forward deployed 2 units, which I thankfully ate first turn. I did warn him and offer him to take them back, but there we go. Screamer Killers were stars, munching a few units. I did well putting wounds into his Dreadnoughts early, and when one blew up in his castle, that helped me out. For 2 turns of shooting, he focused fire and killed the Diamacaron and Hydrajul, which he needed to do as they were both right up in his grill, but also meant that the rest of my models carried on doing work. The Harridan did well in this game, particularly the shooting, which came in clutch really for me to take a big lead. Late on I got to kill his characters when I tabled him, but only for 9 points for Assassinate. And this was a win for me, 91-33, taking me to an event, 2 wins, 1 loss, so I'm very happy with that. It was difficult with my list to find a good third secondary to even take, and to be honest, Tyranid secondaries just aren't as competitive as some of the other factions. Zoanthropes are a lot of points for just 1 cast. Having 3 models in the squad was nice, as I could hold an objective and string them out a bit to get extra range on the casts. Perhaps a Neurothrope and then something extra for 100 points would be better overall. Rippers did well, hiding and holding a backfield objective. The Scythed Hydrajul didn't do much and was too expensive really. Good damage with melee, but found it never really did anything. Hitting on 3s with 6 attacks, with often these attacks failing anyway, and once it brackets it's useless. Perhaps another Screamer Killer with Dermot Symbiosis is better. Being T8 does make a difference, but the Transhuman Strat is cool. The Harridan was a cool and fun thing to take, but obviously not competitive. Not holding objectives makes it less useful, but thoroughly had fun taking it. Hive Tyrant with Shardgullet was ace. I think having Tyrant Guard would be good to give him character protection. 150 points with Adrenal Glands, not too sure if it's worth it. You can move up together with the Hive Tyrant, keeping it a bit safer. They are resilient and have lots of attacks, so potentially they are good enough. If you've watched to this point, then why not consider giving me a like, and let me know if you like this style of roundup content. And I'll see you again soon. Bye.